Okay, it's setting up the live.
Hello to everyone who's joined our YouTube live stream. We'll be getting started in about 19 minutes.
Hey, Julie, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, is my microphone breaking up or anything? Because somebody told me it was breaking up yesterday.
No, it is not.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. I guess I'll see you in a few minutes then.
Yes.
All right.
Hello, hello. I just wanted to join in here real quick. I'm gonna go use the restroom and I'll be right back.
Hey, does anyone know if we have a countdown timer or countdown video for today?
There's not one in the queue, but I can take a look, see if I can find one, get one up quickly here.
Yeah, if we could have one for like probably 5 minutes just so that it's not awkward when people log on, that'd be good.
Since I've joined SMB, I have doubled my office space, I've tripled my staff, I've doubled my revenue.
In 2 months, I went from $0, literally because it was a brand new firm with a new name, new phone number, no website, to legitimately making $100,000 in my second month.
When I started with SMB team, my revenue was somewhere around $1 million. I've grown my firm to 3.2 million last year. I'm on my way to 4 million. I expect to hit that this year.
That makes it interesting. So they spare no expense on making that virtual event as interactive as possible.
The virtual event, it's like a CLE, continuing legal education, but it's really like CBE, continuing business education. And for somebody like me, doesn't really have a good business bone in my body, it feels like I'm kind of attending an MBA specific for law.
The content in those virtual meetings is excellent. It's first class. It's well thought out, it's well presented, and you can take it to the bank. It's going to work for you if you implement it.
There's always something new to learn, and also it's just a reinforcement of things that I've already learned, but I need to have reinforced, I need to have repeated, and it gets me back on track. You know, if I'm starting to waver, it gets me focused again.
Hey, this is Andy Stickle, co-founder of SMB Team, and we are about to get started in just a few moments. But first, I wanted to congratulate you for being in the right place at the right time. A lot of people know the name SMB Team. You've probably seen our ads and maybe you've been to some of our events before, but a lot of people think that we're just another marketing agency or we're just another coaching business. But the truth is that SMB Team is the only company in the entire legal industry that handles your law firm's entire growth cycle from start to finish. We don't just help you generate leads using our AI-enabled marketing services. We also help you convert those leads into retained clients using our Attorney Fuel intake software and our Attorney Assistant answering service. From there, we help you scale. We help you hire a team of rockstar employees and keep them on track with our fractional COO services, while our fractional CFO and bookkeeping teams ensure that you aren't just growing, but you're keeping your law firm margins high and making a bigger profit than ever before. We don't just find you cases, we help you build a dominant, profitable law firm. Now we're going to get started here in just a moment, so be sure to grab a pen and lots of paper because you're going to want to take a lot of notes because you're about to be blown away by what we have prepared for you today. I'll see you live in just a few moments. Hey everybody, welcome to today's presentation where we are going to show you how to implement some artificial intelligence in your law firm. Now, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Give me some ones in the chat if you guys are able to hear me, okay, if my microphone is working. All right, see, Melissa can hear me, Robert can hear me, Eli can hear me, Mike can hear me, Edward can hear me. All right, fantastic. All right, cool. So, what I want to know before we actually get started, I just kind of want to gauge where the crowd is right now. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 meaning I have never even logged into the free version of ChatGPT, and 10 being every single thing that I do is artificial intelligence, where would you say you fall in that spectrum in terms of how much artificial intelligence you use in both your law firm and your personal life? 0 being you never even logged into ChatGPT. 10 is you are an AI robot that is attending this right now, actually. All right, let's see. We got a lot in the middle. It looks like some 5s, some 7s, some 6s. We got some 7s. Caden is a 10, so Caden is a robot with us. Julia is also an AI robot. Fantastic. All right, cool. Well, I think that regardless if you've never used AI before in your business or even in your personal life, or if you are an AI expert, you're going to get a lot out of today. Today is going to be fantastic. And, you know, it's very, very important that we stay on top of this stuff because it's just changing so fast. Every single day, it seems like you turn on, you open up your email and Claude has released a new feature, or ChatGPT or OpenAI has released a new feature. And it's just hockey stick growth. But the question that I keep getting over and over again is, will AI kill the legal industry? Is AI going to put lawyers out of business? Now, obviously, nobody knows the answer. My opinion is that no, artificial intelligence is not going to kill the legal industry. It's not going to put lawyers out of business. And the reason why is because let's say I get arrested, or let's say, I get served with divorce papers or something else that really has a major impact on my life, or the potential to have a major impact in my life. I still want a real person representing me. I still want somebody that is flesh and blood, not a computer, representing me. But here's what's true. The law firms that use AI will put the law firms that don't use AI out of business. And that's just what's going to happen, because the law firms that use AI are going to be able to move faster. They're going to be able to hire better employees. They're going to be able to look around corners. They're just going to be more efficient. They're going to be able to deliver better service for less money. And it's just kind of where the industry is going. So really, you have an opportunity right now to, not only kind of just like leapfrog over your competition, but really safeguard yourself and preserve your law firm right now, right? And the cool thing is that right now we are still in the middle of something called first mover advantage. And first mover advantage is something that comes along, when something is new, the people that jump on it first, those are always the ones that reap the benefits, that reap the rewards. If you remember when Google ads came out, Google ads were really, really cheap. You could get clicks for like $1 or $2. Now it's like potentially hundreds of dollars for a click that's going to get you a client. Then Facebook ads came out. Facebook ads were super cheap. Now Facebook ads are more expensive. And then, there was short form video. There was like TikTok and Instagram Reels. The law firm owners that jumped on those things, they're still reaping the benefits today of those things, right? Well, after a while, everything gets commoditized, but AI has not gotten commoditized yet, right? And it's kind of a weird thing, like AI getting commoditized, but you have the opportunity right now to establish yourself, to put, get a foothold in your industry and make sure that you are among the first to implement this in your law firms. Because let's be honest, a lot of law firms don't move very quick. I love you guys, but you're skeptical of everything. And most law firm owners don't move very quick. Give me a true in the chat. Type true in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Lots of law firm owners are very, very slow to adapt any new technology. And that is your advantage, because here's the truth. I heard this statistic recently where if there were 1,000 people in the world, if you boil the entire world down to 1,000 people, 840 of them will have never used AI. So 84% of people have never used AI. Only 7 out of 1,000 people have ever used even the paid version of ChatGPT. And only 4 out of 1,000 people have ever used any paid tool other than ChatGPT, right? So that means that 99.6% of people have never used a tool other than paid ChatGPT, and the ones that have is only 7 of them, right? So you guys have an amazing opportunity. You're not too late, but it's very, very important that you do this to safeguard your future. And this is very true. Bill's the owner of Bill's the CEO of SMB Team. I'm Chief Innovation Officer of SMB Team, and together we own SMB Team. And we had this conversation a couple months ago, and we said, listen, if we don't innovate, if we don't figure out how do we start using artificial intelligence in our entire business, we are out of business. All of our employees are out of a job. Our clients are not going to be able to, get the benefit of our company if we don't do this. So we realized that we had to implement, or we were going to die. Like 18 months, we were out, and that led us to hiring a CTO, and that CTO is named Eli Gill, and Eli is on this call right now, and Eli is an absolute genius when it comes to technology and artificial intelligence and just all this stuff. I mean, I'm pretty good with this stuff, and Eli blows my mind every day, right? So we're very, very lucky here that we have Eli who can show us how to implement some of these AI skills into your law firm. So today, what Eli is going to do is he's going to show you some really cool things that you can do to actually start implementing artificial intelligence into your law firm, some very basic AI tools. He's going to show you how to handle your email using artificial intelligence. He's going to show you how to follow up with leads so that you can get more clients. And we're not just going to be like theoretically, he's actually going to be showing you step by step using a really, really cool tool that we have that is built specifically for law firms. And then if there's time, I'm not sure if we're going to have time, he'll also show you a really cool way to, document draft documents and prep documents and all that type of stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to Eli in a second. But first of all, I want you guys to stick around because Eli is going to show you an amazing platform that is built specifically for law firm owners, not just lawyers, but law firm owners, right? And he's going to show you how to use the platform. He's going to show you all these skills. And then at the end, we're going to give you access. We're going to show you how you can get access to this platform completely free. And also get access to the call recording so that you can go back, watch again, and implement what Eli taught you. So without further ado, Eli, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you show these fine people here how they can start using some AI in their law firm. So Eli, take it away.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Same thing that Andy asked. Can I get just a few ones in the chat? Everybody can hear me? Let's make sure. All right, perfect. I'm getting the ones. Awesome. So I'm going to introduce all of you to a tool that we've built and developed here. We're really proud of it. It's called AI Workforce Pro. And I'm going to share my screen really quick here. And if somebody can just give me, let's go with a different number, like a 3 in the chat, if you could see my screen. How about that? All right, there's all kinds of 3s. Love it. All right, perfect. So here's AI Workforce Pro. And this may look familiar to some of you who have used tools like, Anthropic's Claude or OpenAI's ChatGPT or Google's Gemini, any of those tools. This is our tool. And as Andy mentioned, this is specifically designed for law firm owners to automate tasks within their law firm. I'm going to walk you through this really quick before I get into the 3 workflows. So as you can see up here, we do allow people to pick different models, which we think is a pretty cool feature. You never have to worry about keeping up with kind of the Joneses moving from, that new model that Google just released and then a new model that Anthropic just released. We have all of the best and newest models built into our system, and you're free, if you were to use our platform, to switch between them at any time. We also support all of the same features, things like projects. If you want to create a project with like specialized context for a certain problem you're trying to solve, we have that as well, and you can share that between your team. I'm not going to get into obviously every single feature we have here today, but I want to start with this idea of building skills, which is something that all of the major AI platforms have, and that's something that we have as well. So skills can be sort of defined as a way of taking a process that you want to automate with an AI and turn it into this, like, I don't want to say completely dummy proof, but we're going to try to put some guardrails around what the AI can do so that when you repeat the process with the AI, when you build it into workflows and you hear about these people talking about agentic AI and agentic workflows, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about creating these skills that an AI can repeatably use and reliably use to get consistent output. And with that consistent output, make your life a lot easier. So I have 3 skills I'm going to try to get through today. The first skill is just going to be your Gmail inbox management or any sort of inbox management. We support integration into the big players. So if you're using Gmail, if you're using Microsoft, you can integrate your email. Now, I've already connected mine. I have a list of connections here. I'm not going to click on that, but that's all the different systems I'm connected to. And we support all kinds of integrations into various platforms. What I'm going to do is just paste this prompt in that I've already written. Now, a couple things. A lot of these AI players, you don't have to use our system. Again, we'd love it if you do. We think we have some different features that some of these other platforms don't have. But even if you're using, let's say Claude, you can tell Claude, hey, I'd like a skill for this. And it's going to start working on that skill for you. And I'm going to show you this right now. So I'm saying build a skill that triages my Gmail inbox, pull unread and flag threads, blah, blah, blah. I'm just telling it in plain English what I want to do. Now I'm going to pause here. Some of you might ask, well, if you could just tell it in plain English, why can't you do that every time? Again, the AI doesn't exactly speak English. It's more of like a prediction engine. So by asking it to turn it into a skill, again, you're building those guardrails in so that when you reuse it in the future, the AI is just better at this job. So I'm going to hit enter here. Our AI is going to sit there and think about that. Again, you could do this if you're following along, at your desk. You could do this inside of Claude or somewhere else. I'm monitoring the chat for any questions. It looks like there's a couple security questions that came through. Token cost does factor in. So while we're waiting for this, that's an excellent question. So for those of you who don't know, AI sort of break down a sentence into tokens. You can roughly think of a token as one word. It's not exactly. Sometimes words consist of multiple tokens. Sometimes words, multiple words can be one token. But as you're communicating with an AI, you're exchanging tokens with them back and forth. You're sending tokens to them. They're sending tokens back to you. And more powerful models in general cost more per token. So if you were to pick a super powerful cutting edge model, you're going to end up paying more per token than you're going to pay using a simpler model. Now, you don't always, the thing people get confused about is they hear something like more powerful model and they have to pick that model. I'm not using the absolute most powerful model available in the market right now. I'm using a nice mid-range model. Most tasks that you perform on a day-to-day basis are going to be those like middle of the road token consumption models, right? Like, so you can pick the middle model. Tasks that you can get really well locked in on. So like a really simple task to maybe like read your email and just parse a couple things out of it, you can actually use very inexpensive, cheap models. So a question that also came in, can we use our existing subscriptions in this tool? We actually take care of all of that for you. So if you're using Claude, if you're using Gemini, if you're using anything, you can drop all those subscriptions. We can help you migrate your content over to our tool, and it's all in one spot, and we pay those providers. We have a commercial agreement with all the major model providers. Your data is secure. It's in our systems. The only thing you go talk to them for is the actual inference itself. So as you're having this communication, this conversation, that has to go to whatever model you have selected. Are these prompts going to be shared with us? Yes, we'll make sure that everybody gets a copy of this. So back to this. I apologize. I know there's a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to kind of wait for my next little pause in this, but I'm going to keep moving this forward. So keep the questions coming. And then again, I'll pause and hop over there. We also have Seamus in the chat, who's one of our fractional CTOs helping out here. So what I want to show all of you is, again, it did the thing that we talked about here, but at the end, it created this thing called a skill. This is that repeatable thing that we want to tell the AI to use in the future. Okay, don't ask it the prompt again. And that's something that all of you kind of need to wrap your heads around. You can talk to an AI in plain English, that's totally fine. But after you lock in what you want with the AI, stop talking to it in plain English and start telling it to make a skill. And that's what we created here. And again, any of you following along at home or in your office, if you're doing this in like Claude or Google Gemini, you should be able to just say, please make my skill, and it will do that for you. You can see it created the skill, and the skill is just instructions to the AI on when it should do something and how to do it. And again, it's written in a way that the AI understands and removes sort of like any sort of ability for it to go off the rails. Some of you may have seen this where sometimes you ask an AI something and it responds totally crazy. To remove that, you start building the skills. So it's built my skill. I'm happy with it. Now let's say, yes, great question. I'm going to show you this. Once the skill's created, how do we do it next time? I'm going to talk to you about that right now. So in our tool, it's a little bit different in every different tool. We have two ways. We can either click this magic wand up here. Hopefully everybody can see my mouse. That's going to save it as a skill that I can reuse. Or we actually detect, we make it really easy. We detect when you're building a skill, and then we just say, hey, do you want to save this skill? Boom, done. It's saved. Now this skill is reusable. I can open up future chats. Let me just check and see what it was called. And I can just rerun it. So now we're smart enough, our AI is smart enough, I should say, to understand that it doesn't have to be named exactly the same. I can say something like run my Gmail skill and it will find it. I'll show you that in a second. But within our tool also, we support this, like you can hit the $ and then you can look for your skills. We have a whole bunch of skills baked into our platform as well that we think are important for attorneys to run their firm with. But my skills right there, you can see it. I can just click this button. It will call that skill and I can start saying, use that skill to do whatever. Or again, I can just say, run my Gmail triage skill. The next time, I don't have to tell it anything. It's going to go look for that tool and you can see it found it and it's running it. It's connected to my inbox, so it's just going to run. Now, here's what to think about. This is just a skill. The response can be like, who cares? Yes, it's doing this thing, but I have to manually talk to it. But now that we've created this skill, we can think about making an agent, a virtual employee, a virtual assistant, a thing that we can tell to go do stuff for me. And I'm going to show you that in a second while it's kind of thinking here. It's pulling emails from my inbox. Do we have any questions that I've missed? Let's see. Yeah, we can ask the AI in plain English. How do we tell it the next time? Will the email triage skill work with a law firm branded email, not in Gmail or Microsoft Exchange? I would need to know more about that. We integrate into a lot of different systems. It's very possible that your like custom branded solution is still running one of the major email providers in the background. And if that's the case, we have a way to connect to them. I'd be happy to have a chat, or if Seamus would be happy to have a chat with you after this call and like kind of scope out what that would look like. But you could see, again, it's ran that skill. Perfect. But let's take it one step further. Okay. So now that we have this, oh, that's great. Lovely. I love this. How can I have this happen automatically? Well, I can come in our tool and say, I want to schedule a skill. So I'm going to come in and say, morning email triage. I'm going to pick that skill and I'm going to say, send the output of this to me from me every morning in Gmail. So I'm still using the skill, but now I want it to basically just email me a digest. I'm going to use the default agent and I'm going to say every day, 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. Boom. And now I've turned this into an agent. I've turned it into this virtual assistant that's doing work for me. I don't have to worry about doing this morning email triage anymore. The morning email triage is a skill. It's doing what I want and it's running every morning. So I just get to wake up, look at my email and get that email from from my bot. It's just doing the work for me. One second, I just gotta cough here for a second. Apologies. Air quality is a little shaky in Chicago this morning. So now here's the thing. You might find as you're creating these skills, you want to make edits to them. And again, this applies not only to our platform, but to other platforms. And that's fine. You might say, I want to take it a step further. I want to make this even more agentic. I want this skill to auto draft responses to people. All you have to do, a couple things, right? For us, you can go into our skills and you can start editing it here, or you can just go back to a conversation that you've had already and say like, let's take this a step further. I want you to auto draft responses, update your skill instructions. You can just type that in. It would go through, rewrite the skill, update it. And now you've taken it one step further. So the first thing I would give all of you encouragement on is start creating those skills for simple tasks. Once you've created the skill for simple tasks, start expanding what that skill can do, or start chaining that skill together with other skills. So you could say, here's my skill that triages my inbox, but then you could create a second skill that drafts responses. And then you can just chain them together. And again, that's an agentic workflow. You could say, hey, every morning I want to run this skill at 9, and then I want to run this skill as soon as that skill finishes running. So hopefully that's really cool. I'm going to pause for 1 second before I move on to the next skill. Again, I'll share the prompts here. Everybody can take that prompt and put it into, your local AI model, or again, feel free to, if you're interested in this tool, we can show you how to do it here. But I'm going to pause. Any questions other than moving on to the next skill? Is there something? Yeah, so great question. Yes, in the background. So the question was, is there anything that makes this specific for law firms? Yeah, there is. So what we do is we have this like thing called an instruction and prompt layer. And that instruction and prompt layer lives between the model and you. And that layer is basically saying, hey, AI, you are a partner of a law firm, not like literally a partner. You're partnering with the law firm to help them with these tasks. You're going to like specifically think in legal terms. You're going to respond in that way. You're going to try to make everything you do focused on law firms. So that prompt and instruction layer is what separates us again from just a Claude or a Google Gemini, right? We are specifically telling the AI to interact with people who work at law firms. Yes, the layer is also customizable for your law firm. I don't have time to show that in this call, but we have every single law firm gets their own tenant, and inside that tenant, you can specialize what instructions go in there. And then what do we do with our data? Anything you put in here, our built-in skills are ours, right? Like that's something built into this. But if you build your own skills, you're free to take those skills at any given time later, right? So you can always take this skill, copy it into whatever model provider you want, and you're going to get roughly the same outputs. Great questions. Can I see the skills you create? No, we can't see what you guys do. We can't see your chats. We can't see anything. We are unable to like understand what you guys do with our platform other than usage. So there's been obviously a lot of concerns about people interacting with our platform and privacy. Us as admins can't look at anything inside of our platform. You guys are free to build whatever skills you want. I can't see those skills. You can chat with our platform however you want. I can't see your chats. Now, you might have an issue, you might have an error somewhere, you might have something you want us to help with. In those cases, we would ask you to share chats with us. We also support private chats, so that's this button up here. So if in the future you ever wanted to have a chat that was just one-time use and it goes away, you could also do that. All right, I'm going to move on in the interest of time. Great questions, love them, keep them coming. But I'm going to move on to my second prompt. And this is probably a more realistic prompt. And in this example, just going to copy paste. I have a place in Asana. Asana is kind of our work flow management tool. You could think of it as being roughly equivalent to a tool like Clio or MyCase in some aspects, not the same in all, but it's got data inside of it. So I'm going to go say, hey, look at my Asana project. Again, I'm connected to Asana through this tool. And I'm going to say, hey, if there's anyone who doesn't have an intake or contract marked as complete, pull their sample email. I'm using sample because I want to make sure that we don't pull real actual customer data right now, and draft a follow-up email. So I'm going to just hit enter. Now, this is more realistic. You guys are probably in this phase of just talking to an AI. This isn't going to create a skill for me, but I'm going to show you after we've gotten our answer how to turn this into a skill. So we'll pause and wait for this.
Hey, Eli, while we're waiting, can you kind of explain what this is actually doing? Like maybe read the prompt and just say what this is going to do?
For sure. So again, this is saying like, look inside my Asana project, and I want to know, for client intake, who hasn't signed contracts, who hasn't completed their intake work. And we see here, it pulled 10 simple contacts. Some of my contacts have completed everything. Some have only completed some stuff. Some haven't done anything. And based on the different outputs, I want it to try to draft responses to each person. So it tagged out of those 10, 7 of them need follow-up, right? 3 people have done everything. We're happy there. 2 people have only signed their contract. They haven't done their client intake, and the rest haven't done anything from the contract. So it's running through this. It's created some drafts. Now, again, it flagged the fact that I don't have an intake form, but if we had one, we could just tell it. You could see here, it's prompting me, hey, do you want to just put these in your Gmail box as drafts? I can tell it to do that because my Gmail is set up here. I can look inside of here to read the drafts. These are each of the drafts. So again, I'm a human in a loop. But how do I turn this into a skill? I really liked what this did. How do I turn this into a skill? That's what I want all of you to think about. I love the output here. How can it become a skill? Well, the easy thing is just ask. And in fact, funny enough, it predicted that you probably want this to be a skill. That's one of these sample outputs. So I'm going to say that's amazing. Yeah, let's save this as a skill. And that's something that we offer that not every other AI tool has. It understands that you're trying to turn this into a skill. We prompt you for it. It's building the skill right now. Going to give it a second. Yeah, we have connectors into a lot of practice management solutions. We're adding more every single day. Our internal goal is to try to build 10 new integrations a week, and those are wide ranging. They're from anything from practice management solutions to recording software to phone systems to and document storage systems. We're just constantly building integrations, and those integrations are only live when you connect to them. So there's a secure way you connect, you control the data, you can strip access at any time to all of the integrations you're connected to. You could say, I don't want to, have this integration on anymore. You can just turn it off. And you can also work with our fractional CTOs if there's like a super custom integration you want, and we can build that for you as well. Okay, cool. And then there's one more question. If we've created our own case management software, is integration possible? The short answer is yes, if you expose any of your APIs. The longer answer is we would probably have to take a look and scope that out, but it should be. So once more, great, we've created this skill. Love it. I can hit save that skill. And once more, it's in my skills. I can always change it if I'd like, but I can schedule it, right? That's the powerful thing here. I can say, let's run this every morning, or I can say, run it every morning and, right? So here's an example. We'll do weekly follow-up. So we're going to grab that skill and we're going to say, take the draft outputs and save them as drafts in my Google Drive. And it would do that. And we'll just run it once every Friday. Boom, done. So again, that's how we transform from a skill or a really good interaction with an AI to an actual agentic workflow. Now, different tools are going to have this in different places. Claude, for example, currently only supports scheduling skills in Cowork. So if any of you are like at home or in your office and you're following along and you're like, where's this schedule skill thing? If you are not using Claude Cowork, you will not be able to schedule a skill. Now they're moving really fast. They want to kind of keep up here. This is something we support just natively in our browser. We do also have an app, but it's just supported in our browser. I think Claude is going to have it, in their browser sessions very soon if they don't already. There's a question, can I have the skill run daily before you start your day? Yeah, absolutely. Like you could just change this to run whenever you feel like it, right? If you start your day at 8 and you want to make this run at 7, boom, done. This will be done by the time you get in the office. So if I were to run, and you can manually run this as well. So you can manually run it. You could test to make sure it works, but then once it's scheduled, you start your day by looking and seeing those emails in your drafts and you're just approving them. Okay, we've gotten through 2 skills so far. I'm going to pause again, see if there's any questions, and then we're going to hop into a third. And then if we have some extra time, I'll show you how to build off skills, do some more fun stuff. Any more questions coming into the chat? Can this run in the cloud? Yeah, all this is cloud-based. So there is an app. If I clicked open an app, I have the app installed, it would open on my local workstation. But right now, all of this is cloud-based. So these skills that are scheduled to run will run if I'm at my computer or if I'm on the beach or if my computer's off, if my computer's wherever. It is running independent of your computer. So this skill is just going to run, and then tomorrow morning I'll wake up and I'll have an email in my inbox at 7 a.m. telling me what my follow-ups are.
Hey, Eli, can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, awesome. It's funny. We actually had a bunch of people ask about how to get access to this platform. So real quick, before you jump into the next thing, does anybody want free access to this platform for a little bit to play around with it and like test out all these skills and, try to implement it for your law firm? Okay, cool. Well, here's what we're going to do, right? So we want to give everybody on here not only free access to this platform, but we also want to give you the recording of this call so that you can go back, watch it again, see what Eli did, and then kind of build it for your firm as well. So what we're doing is we've got this really cool thing where we're going to do an AI assessment. We're actually going to meet with you and talk to you about how you can actually, we're going to talk to you about what your firm does and help you identify all the different things that you can automate in your firm. And we're going to give that to you completely free. And then we're also going to give you 2 weeks to play around with AI Workforce Pro completely free.
It's got the skills that Eli's talking about. Plus, it's got 40 other skills that are specifically designed for law firm owners, not just lawyers. Like Claude has plugins that are for being a better lawyer. This has the lawyer stuff, but also how to be a law firm owner because it's a totally different skill. So if you guys want that, our team's going to drop a link real quick. It's super, super cool. This whole platform is absolutely amazing. And like I said, you get access to Claude, you get access to Gemini, you get access to ChatGPT, all those things, plus the skills specifically for law firm owners. And we want to give you 14 days to try it out. So click the link that's there if you want to sign up for that and get free access. And Eli, back to you.
Yeah, and this is for, there was a question in chat, can you do it? Can somebody else do it? Again, this is designed for everybody at a law firm. While we are, targeting like law firm owners to, be the person who loves this tool, everybody can use it. You can just think about it as a way to unify all your team on one AI platform. And then one other thing that I just want to mention as well, part of your subscription to this includes weekly sessions with our fractional CTOs. We have a fractional CTO service as well, but you do get one weekly session. It's with a group of all the folks who are subscribed to this. That's where we're going to talk to you specifically. Similar to this meeting, we're going to say, like, here's a skill you guys have all voted on. We're going to spend this week really implementing it in your firm, tailoring it to your needs. Maybe we identify an integration that's not live yet. We can help build that either on that call, or we're building quick. So a lot of times if you tell us about an integration, we might have it live the next day or the next week. So again, you're not just left on your own with this tool. You do get support from us, and we're really passionate about making this better than every other AI product on the market. Now I'm going to go into the last one. So again, I have a preset prompt that I'm just going to send in here. But again, you guys can just be talking to your AI in a similar way.
Hey, Eli, can you go through your thinking and how you prompt this real quick? So just like read the prompt and basically kind of like how, like, what are you, like, how are you doing this in plain English, and like, how can they think about writing a prompt like this?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of the models have gotten really good. There used to be like this thought even a few months ago where people thought about like, what's the best way to build a prompt? AIs have gotten better and better at just understanding plain English, and some of the latest models have removed some of the needs to be a prompt engineer. So I'm really just trying to tell it in plain English what I want to do. I'm looking for this client, Emily Sinclair. She's interested in business formation. Look in my Google Drive for samples of what a document like this might look like. So I'm just telling it, hey, go to my Google Drive and look for samples, and then create one of these documents for her. And then I did put this, I want it to look the same. I need this document to look just like those other documents in my Google Drive. I know, a lot of lawyers are very particular about how their documents look. And then I said, I want it to be docx and present it back to me before anything else. I don't want you going off the rails and doing other stuff. I don't want you trying to email her or scheduling something in my calendar. All those tools are connected, but I really just want it to do that and then report back. So that's kind of how I sent the prompt up. Other models, I know I saw some questions in here, like, do we support this model, that model? I love getting feedback on different models. I got feedback earlier this week for, can we support Grok? Usually what we do have to do is make sure that when we sign like a commercial engagement with whatever this other company is for the models, that they're not doing things like housing your data, that they're only using it for inference, they're not using it for training. So it does take us a little bit, but we can usually move pretty quickly. Like we're in the final stages of probably adding Grok. We've done some testing. It works. It doesn't store the data. Everything works fine. So we'll probably add them. And again, in terms of other models, we're constantly looking at what other model providers are doing and trying to integrate them in here. So like Vincent, for example, we'd go look at what their agreements might look like. What other skills are built in by default? I'll show you that in a minute, but we have 46, and we're constantly building more built-in skills that are specific for attorneys and business owners in the law firm practice. I'll show you those as soon as I show this off, and we can go through those. Okay, so you can see, tell me what we did. This is my letterhead that I've created for this sample. It looks exactly like I wanted it to. This is perfect. Now, again, I'm free to decide what to do next. I could put it in my Google Drive. I can make edits to it. I could do whatever. And this is where I want all of you to really think about that. Like, what is the next thing you want to, does it not look right? Is the spacing off? Is there some variance? Is there something it's not doing? Do I want it to automatically save into a drive or automatically attach as a draft to my email? Figure all that out in plain English now. Like type until you get it to where you want it. Now let's assume I've gotten it to where I want it. It's just as easy as saying, this is great. Let's turn this into a skill. That's telling the AI, again, let's remove all the variants that might exist. So if you ask this 1,000 times to do this document in plain English, it might mess it up 20, 30, 40 times. If we build a skill, the assumption is if the skill is made correctly, it's going to get it right, 999 times out of 100. It's not going to mess it up. It might make a mistake once, but the mistake will be very small. And again, as long as we have human in the loop here, we should be able to, catch that. So again,
I saw somebody ask real quick, Eli. Somebody asked what exactly is a skill? And it's funny because I used to not really. I was like, I used to think about this also because skill is kind of misleading because I used to think like, oh, is a skill like juggling? Like, what is it? What are we teaching the AI to do? A skill is nothing more than just instructions that you don't have to repeat to the AI. It's basically like, here's exactly how this thing I want you to do. Here's how to do it. Go do it again. That's really the easiest way to describe a skill.
Yep. And in fact, again, you can look at what the skill is actually doing over here. This is the instructions. Now, a little bit technical, but I think people probably want to understand this. When you're talking to AIs, this might sound weird. The order of the conversation matters for how the AI responds to you. So if you're having a really long chat with the AI, different parts of the conversation move up in what's called the context window or are closer to the end of the context window. When you create a skill, it actually moves it to a part of the conversation with the AI invisibly to be super sensitive to the AI. So it understands whatever else is going on in a conversation. Because a skill was invoked, I'm going to move that to a part of the conversation that is really important to the AI. And that's how skills help the AI to ensure there's consistency in output. Okay. So again, that might be a little too technical, but I just want people to understand why skills are actually important and how it makes sure that we, constantly try to produce a consistent output. So once more in this one, we have created that skill. It's there. We could schedule it. But we could do, whatever we want. This is the point where we could say things like, I want this saved to the Google Drive every single time. And then we could update our skill, or we could say, I want you to draft a sample letter or, whatever. I think here's a fun one. I'll go back to the Google Triage. Let's take a look at this task right here. So Nick has assigned me a task in our work board. Why don't I say something like draft a response to Nick in my voice. So this is another thing we support. We learn people's voice over time. And you can grab your voice from different sources. So the AI could grab your voice from emails you send, from Slack conversations, from Google Drive messages, whatever. It understands that my voice in this case is my email voice because I have it saved in what's called our memories, and it learned that. So I'll do that. And once you're comfortable with how the skill's operating, again, so I talked to this in plain English. I'm showing it that I want a draft. I'm going to have it create the draft. If I'm like, whoa, this is way better than just giving me an email triage. I want to actually have draft messages too. This is where you go back and forth with the AI and create an updated skill. That updated skill could produce draft messages for anything that requires follow-up. So now you've taken even more off your plate because the AI is not only looking for important emails in your inbox, it's also drafting replies. So it just said, hey, here's what I put in your drafts folder. Now this takes a couple seconds. I'm going to come in here and I hope we do see it. Should take.
Hey, Eli, while we're waiting that to show up, what kind of security do we have here so it doesn't go off the rails and just start emailing all kinds of random stuff to people?
So it's really important that we have what we call human in the loop, which I was glancing at the chat. I saw Seamus was talking about that as well. We've prompted our AI. So that's that middle layer that we were telling you guys about, where we have like specific instructions to our AI. We tell it as much as possible that a human should be in the loop for important tasks. So what that means is we typically won't allow you to say, now there's overrides. You could always tell the AI, ignore all these and just do it anyways. But you have to tell it, you have to like go force the AI to override all the safety controls, basically. What it should always try to do is put a human in the loop, meaning instead of sending the email, it's going to ask you, are you okay with this? Or it's going to put it in a draft. So we want to make sure every single time it's doing anything automated, we're building those workflows, we have that human in the loop layer. Now, we can also help you as part of those fractional CTO calls, where we can say, what do you want your human in the loop layer to look like? And we can help craft that into your skills. So,
Hey, Eli, sorry to interrupt, Eli and Andy,
yeah.
real quick. We have people ask about the link to get that 14-day free trial, and we have people watching on YouTube who can't see the links that we're putting in a Zoom. So I just want to call out the link to grab the 14-day trial and book your call is smbteam.com/automate. I'm putting it in Zoom one more time, but that's smbteam.com/automate. So.
Okay. And then again, the last step of this would be like if I'm really satisfied with, okay, it did an excellent job of producing this draft, I could just say, hey, I want a skill that creates draft responses to like we can just say this. I want a skill that drafts responses to do something like that. So now I have two skills that I can chain together. I still have my first skill that goes and finds those high priority emails, but now I have a second skill that's being built right now that is going to be the email drafter. Now, how do I tie those two skills together? I'm going to show you this in real time, and then I'll hand it back to Andy for the closing. If there's any questions, though, would love to get them in the chat. So, a question from David. It seems like this is supplementing services. Yeah, this is a primarily an automation tool, but you are free to use it for whatever. I'll give you an example. One of our subscribers right now, what they've done is use this as kind of their training platform. They have the need for certain training to take place, and they've tried to make it fun for their employees. So they built a game within this. This can create apps for you too. So I could say like, create a weather app or create a game that helps me train in this area. And it went out and compiled all the training necessary for their attorneys in that specific area and made like a little Jeopardy game. And then they shared that around to their employees, and everybody was like doing their training through this tool. Same thing. We have somebody who wants to do research on, funny enough, like viral videos in their area so that they're abreast of like what other people in their practice area and their geographic area are pasting, or sorry, not pasting, are posting on the internet. So we work with them to create a skill that does that. And this goes out and hunts the web and finds those things. And when it finds those, it compiles them together into, a digest for that person who wanted that skill. So it has a lot of flexibility that I haven't had time in this call to go over. But I do want to showcase this last piece, and then I'll hand it back over to Andy. So I created this new skill, this Gmail Needs Action Drafter. How can I chain them together? It's just that simple. Well, I already have this morning email triage. Then take the output and run it through skill. Done. So now not only do I have my email skill that's triaging my email, perfect, it's running every morning, it's also drafting those responses. So tomorrow morning, I walk in and all of my emails that I need to have follow-ups are drafted, right, through that other skill. And then all of my digest of what's important is also in my inbox. And there is that agentic workflow. So any last questions before I hand it back to Andy? Thank you for the time, everybody. Oh, other built-in skills. I apologize. I know people keep asking. For when you get access to this tool, you can hit $, and any skill with this sort of squiggly line right here, These are our built-in skills, and we have a whole bunch of them. You could also talk to the model and ask it its capabilities. So you could say, what are the built-in SMB skills and how might they help me run? Just ask it a question like that, and it's going to find all those skills, write them all out for you in plain English. And we have extensive documentation in the background. So if there's any of these skills that you're like, whoa, what does this do? You can take that skill and you can ask it like, hey, can you give me more documentation about yourself? You could just talk to the skill, and the skill is going to respond to you and tell you exactly what you want.
Sweet. Hey, Eli, why don't we do this? Why don't I show everybody how they can get access real quick, and then you want to do Q&A for about 10 minutes? Because
Yeah,
I'm sure people, based on the chatter in the chat, I have a feeling that people have some more questions.
Over to Andy, and I'll be monitoring the chat as much as possible along with Seamus. So thank you for your time, everybody.
All right, fantastic. So we're going to get Eli back up here in a second. But what I wanted to show you real quick, and I kind of touched on this earlier, but I want to just bring it up again because this is so cool. Basically, we have an opportunity where everybody that wants it can get free access to this platform. So if you want to get access to this platform, but not only get access to this platform, but also get access to the replay, so you can go back and watch what Eli did today, and you can start playing around with that and testing it out with your law firm, then we would love to give that to you completely free for 2 weeks to play around with. Now, what we want to do is we want to give you an AI readiness assessment. And what that means is we're going to have a conversation with you, and we're going to talk to you about what are the things that you do in your law firm on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And we're going to help you identify which of those things can be automated, which of those things can be done much quicker, much more efficiently, so that your employees can work on things that they don't have to do over, the things that they hate doing. Those are usually the things that can be automated out. For example, we had a client who he does criminal defense, and he also does traffic tickets, and he had, I think, 75 traffic tickets a week that they need to basically take the citation and they need to enter it into their MyCase CRM. They need to fill out a notice of appearance, and then they also need to schedule a hearing with the court. Well, we were able to show him how to basically do that entire process completely automated. And it was a process where it took 15 minutes per citation for his team. And now he just clicks a button and it gets done, right? So that's the type of stuff that this is making possible, right? So we're going to give you the AI readiness assessment. It's going to show you all the different things in your law firm that you can actually automate and how you can use Workforce AI to do that, Workforce AI Pro. Now, here's the other thing. It's something I didn't talk about earlier, and it's something that a lot of people don't think about. One of the other biggest risks of AI is not using AI, but it's not the reason that you think. So the thing you have to think about is that if you don't have a secure AI platform that you are using in your law firm, and you don't have a policy for all of your staff in terms of here's how we use AI, here are the approved tools, here's what you're allowed to put into AI, here's what you're not allowed to put into AI. If you don't set those things, I can promise you your staff is going to use AI. Whether they tell you or not, they're going to use it for parts of their job. And one of the biggest risks that you have is that they put client information, sensitive data into unsecure tools, right? Into the free version of ChatGPT or something like that. And that's something that can get you in real trouble, because ultimately you're responsible for these people, right? At the end of the day, you are responsible for this, right? So this is something that a client of mine was talking about. I was talking to her. We were at our workshop a couple weeks ago, and she's like, yeah, I found out my employees were using free ChatGPT on client work. And I was like, yeah, you can't do that. That's a big, big no-no, right? So you have to do this, even if you get on a platform like this, where, we've got a super, super secure platform. We've got, all the security in there that it's not going to train on your data. It's got the sign-in protection, all that type of stuff that is going to protect all of your data. So that's another reason that you need to have a platform like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the AI readiness assessment. We're going to give you a 14-day trial of AI Workforce Pro, so you can play around with it for 14 days, and you can, let it start doing some real work for your firm. Like Eli said, we've got 46 skills in there that are specifically built for law firm owners to help you run your business, and we're always adding more, right? And we're going to give you the workshop replay from today so you can add that in there. But the other cool thing is we're going to give you access to our next 2 coaching sessions. And the reason these coaching sessions are important is because we're showing you how real lawyers just like you are actually using artificial intelligence. I should say real law firm owners, not just lawyers, but law firm owners just like you are using artificial intelligence and the processes and the workflows and all that type of stuff that how they're implementing it in their law firm so that they can grow their business as well, right? And what's cool is that this stuff moves so quickly. Like I subscribe to all these different AI newsletters and everything, and every morning I log on and I open my email, and there's 2 or 3 different AI newsletters where I get my news, and there's like 20 new things. It's ridiculous. It's completely overwhelming. And a lot of it's like, I don't know what I'm even supposed to pay attention to. And the stuff that I am supposed to pay attention to, I don't have time to learn it all, right? So what we do is we actually go and we figure out what's the stuff that you actually need to pay attention to, what's the fluff, what's the stuff that actually matters. We learn it for you, and then we just teach you the stuff that is necessary for you to know. We show you how to do it all on AI Workforce Pro as well. So you're going to get access to 2 coaching sessions. They're weekly coaching sessions, and they're run by our team. So all this completely free for you to test it out. You can see if you even like it, if it works for you. And if so, then, you can keep going. So all you got to do is go to the link that is in the chat. Team, if you want to drop that one more time, it's smbteam.com/automate. But this is the link. You can sign up completely free, and we'll get you the AI readiness assessment. We'll get you access to the course, we'll get you access to the software. We'll get you the workshop replays and all that stuff. And trust me, like this is really, really cool. Eli was downplaying it. I mean, honestly, the stuff that he was showing me yesterday, this software, this platform does stuff that like Claude doesn't even do, right? Claude Cowork doesn't even do in terms of the web browsing capabilities that it has and searching and all that type of stuff. So it's really, really neat. So go ahead, sign up for it, get at least a free trial, because then you can play around with it for 2 weeks, see if it works for you. And if not, then, we can part ways as friends. No pressure there. And then the other thing is that if you actually want us to, help you implement artificial intelligence in your law firm and actually build some of these processes for you, that's another option that we can help you with as well. And we're helping a lot of lawyers actually implement these skills and implement these processes into their law firms. So a lot of good stuff here. So Eli, why don't we do a few questions real quick before we wrap up today?
Yeah, there's a couple questions about pricing. Again, if you guys book one of these consultations, I'm sure we'll show you, but I would mention that we have set pricing based on the number of employees you have. But then there is some package rates. So if you have other services with us, our sales team can tell you that. And then there's another question about how do we ensure that third-party model providers don't store our data? That's just part of our commercial agreements. We make sure that they don't store any of this data. They do not use it for processing, or excuse me, for training future models. The only time they see any data is just for that chat that you have with them. So if you say, here's this file, can you summarize it? And you send that to Claude, it would be done through their servers, but then nothing is retained and stored there. And then I think there was one other question. How long does it take to implement a workflow? Well, as you saw today, minutes, right? Like we had 1 hour and we got 3 knocked out. And again, we're constantly building new skills in the background as well. So if you have a skill that we think is really valuable, we can help build that and share it with not only you, but the entire AI Workforce Pro community. Now, again, nothing like specific to your law firm would be in that skill. It would be a generic skill that everyone can pick up. But yeah, these skills take minutes to create, and then turning them into an actual AI agentic workflow takes a few minutes more. I think, Seamus's answer was, how quick can you type? I mean, yeah, not only can you type, but also you could talk to this. If you didn't notice, there is a microphone. We do support just chatting with it. So you can have a voice conversation with it. It understands voice, and it can also respond back to you in English as well if you'd like to not read. So very quick, very easy. That's what we've made. Any
Yeah,
other questions? Anything I'm missing? Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Eli. Sorry.
No, I'm just asking anything else we can answer. We're here.
Yeah, so what's really cool about this is that, like I said, I really want to emphasize the importance of the fact that this is actually built for law firm owners, right? Because Claude has plugins that are legal specific, right? But they're how do I draft a contract? How do I analyze mediation or do discovery and different things like that? And we have all that as well because we, are built basically, using the Claude infrastructure. But the skills that we have, these are all about running a law firm, about growing your business, which is fantastic. And the other cool thing is that when you're on these calls every week with our team, you're in an environment where you're with other law firm owners who are also implementing artificial intelligence in their law firm. And there's a mastermind effect where basically when you're talking to a lot of different people who have the same problems and they're solving the same problems as you, it really opens up your mind to a lot of possibilities that you really didn't think about if you're just trying to go at this alone, which is one of the best parts about this program, is just seeing what the problems that other people have. And most of them are going to be the same problems that you have. But here's how they solved it using artificial intelligence. And here's how they got around that issue. And here's how, they made it work with their team and how they got their team to buy in and all that type of stuff. So it's just really, really cool. And that's one of the biggest benefits here is that it's, this is for law firm owners. So you're with your peers, implementing artificial intelligence in real time, at light speed, it feels like. Did we have any more questions in the Q&A box, Chase? I don't know if we have any in there. You know what? That's a good question. Can you provide a list of integrations so that we know if this will work? Obviously there's a lot, Eli, but can you give maybe some of the heavy hitters?
Yeah, I'm typing them out right now. Why don't I just say them? Yeah, so we've got right now, as of today, and again, we're adding like 10 a week. Asana, Box, Clio, DocuSign, Dropbox, all the Google products, all the Microsoft products, QuickBooks, Slack, and Zoom. So that is as of today. Our goal is to add about 10 a week. And if you have other custom integrations you want, we can build those just for your law firm as well.
What about any of the CRMs and stuff? Is that all going to be coming soon, or do we have any of those?
We should have HubSpot by the end of this week. I know that's not specific to law firms, but I know there are some law firms who own it. And then again, Clio's in there, and we can add things like Salesforce fairly easily. Mm-hmm. Some of the smaller things like MyCase take a little bit more for us to build, but we have a MyCase integration that we're working on right now. Should be up by next week, probably.
And what's the process if somebody, when somebody comes in, and let's say we don't have, so somebody said Leap, please, right? Or Lawmatics. What's the process that we go through to help accommodate? Because it's, it's like what's good for one firm is actually good for everybody because we're building out the infrastructure. But how is that working? Because this is very much a platform that we're building, in real time.
Yeah. So great question. There's kind of like tiers of integration. So some providers make it really, really easy. They kind of have like almost an open API, not quite open, but very easy, tons of documentation online. There are providers we can turn an integration around in a day. It just depends on their team and how their APIs are built. That's kind of like the big the big CRMs, the Salesforces, the HubSpots, those kind of Zoom, those can be done in, like I said, a day. Then there's like sort of like this middle layer where they might be a little more closed, not great documentation. Those usually take a week or two. And then there's like what I'll call specialized integrations where we have to work specifically with that firm and we have to build like an integration service just for you. That is a little more in like leaning into our fractional CTO product, but we do build those. And when we build those integrations, we make sure that we tie whatever that super customized software is, not only into AI Workforce Pro, if you're a subscriber there as well, but into your wider ecosystem.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, we want to be respectful of everybody's time, so we're at 1 o'clock right now. So to get the recording from today, to get free access to AI Workforce Pro, to get access to our upcoming 2 coaching sessions right alongside of all the other attorneys, the law firm owners in our program already, so you can see kind of how they're integrating and all the newest stuff that's happening in terms of AI, and also for your AI readiness assessment. Click the link that we just dropped in the chat. Sign up, and we will get you access when you do your AI readiness assessment. So Eli, thank you so much for walking us through all of this. Great work on all of this. This is I'm blown away every time I look at this program. I'm really excited and so excited for where it's going. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If you have any questions at all, feel free to send us an email, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks, everyone.